Virginity. What is it? Why should you wait? Why is it better to get over and done with? What should you do for your first time? All that with a cherry on top on this episode of Queerocracy.
Virginity, a subject widely discussed by teens and young adults worldwide. The problem is that everyone's definition of virginity is different. For some, it might mean only sex between a man and a woman, or for some it might mean sexual intercourse, oral sex, or even just fooling around. For me, virginity is basically the first time that you have sexual intercourse, that is, vaginal or anal sex. I don't especially consider oral sex or hand jobs or anything like that really to be losing your virginity. Some people think that it could be different across sexual orientations, but I don't see really how it could be different because you're still having sex. Like, it still, one thing is going into the other thing. So, it's really the same across all orientations.
So my topic, well, mine and Pat's, is discuss reasons to stay a virgin.
I guess the most obvious reason would have to be that you're not ready. We have laws that tell us when this is, and depending on what country or even state you live in, this can be different.
Whenever you are younger, you are probably not mature enough, or you are too hormonally driven to make, such an important decision.
Personally, I think it has little to do with biological age and a lot to do with maturity level. Just because you aren't 18 doesn't mean you're not ready, and just because you are 18 doesn't suddenly change you into someone who's completely comfortable sexually.
If your partner is gross and you don't like them,
I think it's really a feeling more than anything. If you're not 100% sure you're ready, don't jump into it just because you think you're too old or not cool. Being a virgin doesn't make you unaccomplished or immature, or some decrepit social outcast. Sexual relationships are just another part of life that you'll experience at one time or another.
If it's like a Craigslist hookup, you never want that to be your first time, because that's just you'll regret it.
A lot of people also wait until they find someone special or someone they love in a committed relationship before they lose their virginity. I don't necessarily think this is a bad idea. I just think that sometimes it's unnecessary. You can find someone trustworthy and kind, someone who will treat you well and respect you, without putting so much into them. If you ask me, there's only intense emotional involvement if you want there to be, or if you treat it like a monumental event in your life, which in reality, it isn't.
My cat's sleeping in the litter box. That was random. That's not a very good reason.
I think, in a way, it's damaging to view losing your virginity as such a major point in your life. The higher your expectations are, the harder you fall if they aren't met.
If the other person doesn't love you, that's not good. You don't want to do it like that.
A lot of people also wait until they find someone special or someone they love in a committed relationship before they lose their virginity. I don't necessarily think this is a bad idea. I just think that sometimes it's unnecessary. You can find someone trustworthy and kind, someone who will treat you well and respect you, without putting so much into them. Me, there's only intense emotional involvement if you want there to be, or if you treat it like a monumental event in your life, which in reality, it isn't.
I don't think you have to be in love to, lose it, but you have to, trust another person, and, you have to care about them.
So I guess my point is, go the middle way. If you aren't ready for sex, there's no rush and you shouldn't jump into it. But at the same time, don't think your first time has to be some amazing, life-changing experience that you should only do out of romantic love.
First and foremost, sex is not like a big scary thing. It's not evil. Not to offend anyone who seriously believes in all that bullshit, but Really? 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 Really, really? Sex is a biological function required by a healthy mind. It's rooted at the very core of who we are, a natural purpose of the human body, and there's absolutely nothing to be ashamed of in fulfilling it. You don't need to be protected from something you were born to do. Sex is a rite of passage into adulthood. It's a very important part of what it is to become human, and while your first time should be special, something to compare all of your other experiences to, and something that definitely should not be rushed, virginity should be something that you think about as an obstacle to becoming a full human being, not some magical shield against it.
Hi, I'm John, and I'm going to be discussing things you should do or have when you lose your virginity. The first thing that you should have is someone that you trust. When you lose your virginity, it's better to have it with someone that you trust, because then you know that it's going to a good place. Like, you can trust that person, you know that they won't do anything to hurt you. And if you just lose your virginity to a random stranger, you might feel guilty, you might feel like it was the wrong thing, but if you lose it to someone that you trust, then it's guaranteed that you're going to be like, okay, it's over with, and it's with someone I trust, so it's all good. If it, definitely someone you trust is if you're already in a relationship. Like, you know that person, you love that person, you're familiar with that person, and you know that they won't hurt you. That's usually better to have it. I know that I personally, speaking from experience, I definitely want to lose my virginity to someone who I trust, who I'm in a relationship with, because you know that person, you've been waiting for it, and it just builds up to it, and it makes it so much better. But the next thing that you should have is a condom. Because I know if you're a dom, usually doms are expected to have condoms for the subs if they're the ones who are going to have sex. But also if you're a sub, it's good to have one just in case. Like, if the dom doesn't have one and you're not familiar with them, there's always a chance that they could have something that you really don't want. You definitely need a good place to do it with no possible interruptions. There's probably nothing worse than building up to, oh my god, I want to lose my virginity, and then you finally get there, and then you get interrupted because you chose a bad place. I know one of my friends, he lost his virginity, and it was with someone that he didn't really know. He felt bad about it, and he said that he felt guilty because he wanted it to be with someone that he trusted, but he just threw it away because he was too eager. I think that should be a warning to people who think that they should throw their virginity away, because it's not really a good thing to just hand out your butt cherry to the nearest competitor for it. It's really a good idea to give it to someone that you know and trust.
Really? Really? That's it from us for another week. Feel free to talk about your opinions and experiences in the comments below. You can't not have something to say, so say it, bitches. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and join us at gayteenforum.org.